Hello everyone, welcome to Undertunneling tutorial. This is a module that looks like a huge wheel that spins either clockwise or counterclockwise and has 4 little puzzles arranged in some order. Two opposite puzzles will be connected to each other, and depending on the action you do on one of the puzzles, something will happen to the second puzzle and vice versa. So your goal is to, depending on which direction the wheel is spinning, in this case it's clockwise, your goal is to set all 4 puzzles in some state, but each time you do something, you will be moved somewhere in the maze, and when you set everything in correct positions, the module will go to the final stage where you will have to navigate from the latest spot you have arrived to back to the center, not touching the walls. So let's note down what desired states are. Dial must be turned towards the center of the module. So dial should be turned into the center. I will mark it as down. By the way, all the positions are going to be up if we look outside of the module: left, right, and down. So this is up, left, right, down. Okay, next is number display must be set to the first digit of the serial number, which is 7. Grid should be turned on, and switch should always be flipped towards the direction that the circle is spinning, so clockwise. So for the switch, the pair is the dial. For the dial pair is switch. For the number display, the pair is grid. For the grid, it is number display. Let's start with the first pair, which is dial and switch. So this is the first out of 6 combinations, pairs that you can get. My strategy is, so how it works, when you flip the switch, when you flip the switch to the clockwise direction, it's okay, for this step you don't actually have to do anything with the switch, you only need to manipulate with the dial. So when you turn the dial, when the dial points up or down after the rotation, the switch will be flipped if the last digit of the timer is even. Otherwise, if after the rotation the dial looks left, so not actually left but counterclockwise, so this direction, the switch will be flipped to this direction, counterclockwise as well. If the dial will be pointing clockwise after the rotation, the switch will also be pointing clockwise. Right now they're in their desired states, so I will show you on another example. So here they are. So this is also the wheel is also rotating clockwise, so the desired states are the same. Okay, so this should be clockwise and this should be counterclockwise. This should point in the center of the module. Okay, so if you want this if you want the switch to be clockwise, so this direction, we need to make the dial looking into the same direction, clockwise. So we're turning it into this position. And after that, we don't want the switch to change its, we don't want to toggle the switch. So we, as it says, will turn the dial into its desired state when the last digit of the timer is odd, to not toggle the switch. So 29, like that. And now they're in their desired states. Okay, going back to this one, next pair is going to be grid and number. So if the new number is not 0, the light, if you change something on the number, if the new number is not 0, the light will toggle that cell in reading order. So this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and it's orthogonally adjacent cells. This works the same as lights out module NIDI. I expect you to know how it works because you need to actually know how to make the module, like how to complete the grid when you have only one cell left. So for example, to toggle only this cell, you need to toggle this, 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 and this. To toggle the center cell, you need to toggle the plus, and to toggle any H, so for example this one, you need to toggle the opposite side and the center. So the way I do it is, first I complete the grid. Okay, one more before we do anything. The important parts are, for the dial, each time we interact with something, we interact with the dial. The flipping the switch. Flipping the switch. If you flip the switch, nothing will happen. However, you need to always pay attention in which order the switch is looking, because when it looks clockwise, all directions that you need to do are going to be normal. If it's pointed counterclockwise, all directions are going to be switched. Right now it's clockwise, so all directions that are going to make in this maze are normal. For the dial, it is, well, the dial is turned into the new position where moved one space in that maze, the same position as the dial's new direction is pointing. As I said, pointing away from module is represented as up. For the digit, it is simple. Up means up in the maze, down means down in the maze. For the grid, however, it's a bit difficult. So, looking up, this will represent as top left, diagonal top left movement, top right, left, not moving, right, and same for, and obviously for this row, bottom left, bottom right. Okay, so the strategy for digit and grid is the following. First, I complete the grid, so I need to turn everything on. Okay, I toggle the center square first by doing the plus. As you can see, I did one left, one right movement, one down, one up movement, and in the maze itself they all cancelled out, so I don't have to do any movement. Now we need to toggle this one. It's going to be top left, top middle, top left, top middle, then right, bottom right, then bottom left. Okay, now we're looking at our desired digit. So If the difference between the current digit and desired digit is even, all you need to do is just keep clicking the position 1 until you reach your desired digit. If it's not even, you click any of these buttons once. So for example, up, it makes it 9. Okay, you clicked up, which moving up. So the way that the number changes the grid is it's just toggle. As I said, it toggles the position 9 in the grid and all adjacent squares. And now, if okay, what's if your hold on, I forgot. Let me remember. Okay, if your engine, yeah, if your desired digit is odd, that means you're going to click once again the same direction, 0. So we moved up. If your desired direction at this point would be even, you would not need to click, and next step is you are going to toggle these 3 squares, but assuming that they are left alone untoggled, so doing the toggle sequences for each one of them independently. So let's start with this one. It's going to be top left, top middle, top right, center, top left, top middle, top right, center. Then for the right one, bottom left, left, left up, center. And for this one, bottom left, 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 up, up, right, bottom right. You can see now the difference between 7 and 3 is even, so we can click the top left corner 4 times and the grid will not change its state. 1, 2, 3, 4. So we moved 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, and now the flashing light would represent up position. These 4 buttons are you're going to use them to navigate the maze. This is up, so it means this is down. We're going twice down. Okay, next example. This one. If you have a dial and a grid, that I would recommend you to start with that pair, because for the time of the tutorial being made, there is a case where you have to reset the module to get a new grid, because it's mathematically impossible to get both of them in their desired state. Okay, let's get the new pairs. It's spinning counterclockwise, so desired positions are dial must be turned away from the center, so it's going to be up. This switch is going to be counter. Number is going to be 1. Last digit will be 0, and green is going to be off. The switch is paired with number. The dial is paired with grid. Number is paired with switch, and the grid is paired with dial. Okay. First of all, for the dial and grid, okay, look at the position of the switch first. It's counterclockwise, so remember all our moves are going to be flipped. Okay, first of all, we're going to set the grid in its desired state, the same as with number. Let's try this. Down, and okay, down and top left. Okay, down makes it up, top left makes it bottom right. Okay, and for this one it's going to be bottom left, bottom, so bottom, bottom, right, top right, right, top right, and top left. At this point the dial would be left or right. You would have to reset the module by holding this button for a few seconds and releasing it, and then it would generate a new grid, and you would have to try the same thing again, and you would have to keep trying until your desired state of grid is when you have desired state on your grid, the dial would show either down or up. Since the desired state for the dial is up, and the way it works is grid. On the grid, if a corner is pressed, the dial will rotate 90 clockwise. If H is pressed, the dial will rotate 90 counterclockwise. All you need to do at this point is just click any corner twice. Let's do top left. So top left twice, which means we're here now. Okay, so this is now done. Next one is switch and number. This one requires a bit improvising. So when you flip the switch, if it's flipped towards the direction that the wheel is spinning, the currently displayed number is going to be increased by 5, modulo 10 of course. Otherwise it will be display would be subtracted from 9. And for the switch, for the number, if the new number is prime, the switch is going to be flipped, otherwise it's going to stay in its position. Our desired number is 1, so if you want to reach 1 by just going down 3 times, we're going to meet 2 primes, which is 2 and 3, and it will toggle the switch twice, which will actually leave it in its desired state. So let's do that. But each time, you don't forget, the switch is going to be flipped, and you will have to keep track of our moves. So the module itself checks for the switch condition before the switch is flipped. So that means if I go down now, it counts it as the switch is still rotating counterclockwise. So this down movement is still considered an up. Now the switch is pointing clockwise, so next down move is going to be normal. And now the down move is going to be again flipped. Now we're here, and let's navigate back to the center. Okay, so this is down, down, left, up. Ooh, something was wrong. Let's check. This is actually the hardest part of the module. Keep track of these moves. Oh, which one was this? Our position is alpha 3, so something went somewhere wrong. I will probably figure that out later, but let's move to the next example. Okay, last two pairs left are going to be this one. So switch and grid plus dial and number. Spinning clockwise. Yep. So the dial must be turned down. Switch is going to be turned clockwise. Number wants to be 7, and the grid wants to be on. Let's start with switch and dial. Sorry, switch and grid. So anytime you change anything on the grid, the switch is going to turn to its opposite of desired state. But when you turn the switch, all the squares that have their positions present in the time will be toggled. So suggest first looking at the timer and evaluate what time you should you think you would submit this at. For example, I think it's going to be 26 minutes. So 0 of course doesn't count because 0 is not present as a position number. That means I want to make squares 2 and 6 unlit, so I could flip the switch to its desired state and toggle those squares. But I think I'm too late. I'll just do it as positions 2 and 5 instead. Okay, flip. The switch right now is counterclockwise, so all the moves are going to be okay. So this is right, reversed is going to be left. Okay, so these are positions 4 and 5. I want to toggle 4, so I need to do this 3 in the center. So top right, and bottom right, and since I want 2 and 5, I already have 5. Now I want 2, so to toggle 2 we need these 3 bottom and center. So bottom left movement is here, bottom is here, bottom right is here. And let's wait for any time right now. It had 2550, so it toggled every cell that had 2 and 5. Okay, this part is done. The last one is dial and number. So dial and number and dial. Okay, each time you set a new number, you're going to rotate the switch. Each time you set the display to a new number, is going to rotate the dial that number of spaces clockwise, 90 degrees. And for the dial, it is the following. Look at the last serial character, sorry, digit. Okay, not here. Let's do the serial number. This one. So it's this diagram. When you turn the dial, if the digit right now in the display is present somewhere on the diagram, for example, the display right now is 1. If you turn the dial clockwise, it will change display to 0. You change if you turn the dial counterclockwise, it will change the display to 8. Since 7 is not present on the wheel, we can turn the thing freely without changing the display. Okay, we want this to be down, and we want the display to be 7. So this is actually easy. Since the display will not change if I turn the dial, yeah. So I'm going to turn this here. It points down. And don't forget to do the last move. And let's see if this is the correct position of the maze. We're going down, then we're on left. Damn it. Not this one. Okay, I was here. Forgot something, I assume. Anyway, let's try a different one where you don't just do one move. This one. So it's going clockwise. Last digit is 1, so it's the same diagram. It's going to be down, and the number wants to be 7. Okay, since this is on the diagram, okay, how about that? Turn the thing counterclockwise, change it to 8. Then since 7 is not on the display, we can just change the number to 7. Let the thing rotate any number of times. Now since 7 is not on the diagram, we can just put the thing in its correct position, like that. That's it, I guess. The hardest part for me personally is just to keep track of these moves, but with enough practice I am sure this is possible. Anyway, thank you for watching and have a nice day.